Well, first of all, we have to say that drylands are covering about 40% of the world surface, and a huge part of the agricultural land is located in drylands. Also, there are about 25% of the world population living there, and within this 25%, we have about 800,000 people suffering from hunger or, let's say, food insecurity.
As a result of the effects of climate change, or quite possibly as a result of?
This is, the drylands are the result of climate variation, which are historically based, and also of human activities, and particularly on wrong agriculture or natural resource management practice, man-made. According to FAO, overgrazing, for example, over-irrigation. Many people do not know that by irrigation you can kill the land, by salinization, for example, and also wind erosion, water erosion, because when your soil is not in good conditions, when the rain is coming, it occurs a lot of hydrologic erosion. So let's say drylands are really under stress. And the climate change is increasing this stress. The impact of climate change are increasing the vulnerability of the land and increasing the vulnerability of the people where the livelihood of that people are based of the natural resources in dryland.
Do we know, I mean, do we have the answers to halt the rate of deterioration? Do we know what needs to be done? Is it being done? Does more need to be done?
Well, first of all, I would like to say that the climate change discussion are a bit like me walking a little bit on some crutches. I am walking on crutches today because I don't hear so much speaking about land. Our land is the final impact on climate change, and our life, finally, yours, mine, are depending on the life of the soil. So we have to take care of the soil. And yes, there are a lot of techniques and activities which can help to increase the situation and the health conditions of soil. Let me say also that biodiversity in drylands, for example, 30% of the cultivated biodiversity of the plants are coming from the drylands. So in the same time, you can see that is a part of the problem, and it is a part of the solution. The soil also, talking about climate change, soil the scientists say that 35 to 40% of the carbon, of the organic carbon of the planet is located in drylands. So by increasing that, the sequestration of carbon, for example, by doing ecological agriculture, it helps a lot to sequestrate carbon in the soil. Also, another situation dealing with development and poverty, it is a fact that about 10% of the GDP of many countries is the cost of erosion and the cost of land degradation is about 10 to 15% of the GDP of many countries. So these people, these countries, in the beginning of the year, they don't have any perspective to develop because the land degradation is let's say, spoiling their future. So this is another reason to invest, and the scientists have found out that it is more effective and cheaper to rehabilitate the land than to let the land degrade.
Are those scientific measures being applied and being applied in sufficient measures to halt the deterioration?
Yes, currently the scientists are increasing their knowledge about this, also collecting the good practice in order to rehabilitate this land. And the framework, the international framework within this should be done is the United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification. And unfortunately, there is little attention given to that convention. let's say it's the Convention of the Poor, and which does not help for the finding solution. But by helping land rehabilitation, we invest in the future not only of the people of Drylands, but in the future of all the humanity.
Is that a message that's being heard loudly and clearly here at COP18? Is this something that you've heard? Are you confident that action will be taken here and in future COPs?
Well, you know, let's say since about 20 years I am following the discussion. I was one of those who have been in Rio de Janeiro in '92, and I was full of hope. What I see today is that we have more and more talks and discussion, and more little action. And currently I feel that the governments seem to be not in the possibility or not be able to take the decision. I want to give you an example about agriculture. Agriculture has been postponed. The discussion in agriculture and the climate change debate have been postponed in Copenhagen. They have been postponed in Cancun, and they have been introduced in the discussion in Durban. And now, little by little, the discussion is more open, but we are not at all coping with the emergency situation we face. On one side we discuss, and on the other side the situation is increasing. And the people finally who are suffering from the situation, from climate change and impacts of climate change in general, this is the third foot of the climate change discussion. It's not only about mitigation, it's not only about adaptation, it's also about what the people suffer, how the people, more and more people suffer from this situation. So I think if we do not discuss with the three topics in the same time, it's, as I have said to you, we are discussing like on crutches. We are not stable in our discussion. So I am of course, while I am involved in this discussion, we as a CSO and CSOs network like Drynet, like RADO on the Oasis agro-ecosystem, we are working hard in the field with the population. But what we do, if there is not any public policy which at one stage or another is taking over in order to disseminate the work, in order to enlarge the scope and the range of this work, what the CSO can do is in general, it's very important for the population they serve, but it's not at the scale of what should be done in order to achieve the results we can expect, or we should expect, we must expect.